Marcus Aurelius wrote you in his book, "Control your thoughts, not the outer world." Circumstances recognize this, and you'll discover strength in a society where feelings are frequently, "How can we crash like raging waters?" As we dive in, make sure our anchor is solid. Into 7 tenets of Stoicism that are essential for controlling your feelings and navigating the turbulence of life with unwavering resolve. Lesson 1. Understand what Lesson 1. Recognize your controls. You have power. Have you ever had the feeling that it's not the tornado you're in, thunder, lightning, or rain, but the turbulent storms of unexpected life situation, letdowns, or sudden modifications offered by Stoic philosophers, a tenet that will serve as our anchor? These call into question the contradiction of control. Picture yourself planning an outdoor gathering, and in spite of everything after careful preparation, it begins to rain. Although the weather is beyond your control, how your reaction to the rain is entirely within your power. You may feel discouraged, agitated, or you may adjust by relocating the occasion inside a constructing, may even consider the rain to be a bringing the Stoic philosopher back to life. Epictetus, who was born into slavery and became one of the most notable historical, it was expressed by prominent intellectuals. Evidently, some of the things are within our control, while others don't appear too simple. Isn't it already within? There is great wisdom in this simplicity. Able to change our lives. Every day we come across a wide range of circumstances. Some things, like our routines, we can alter. The literature we read, or the individuals we surround ourselves with. But there are, moreover, a lot of things in life outside of our impact, other people's behavior, the unrelenting happenings of time on a worldwide scale, and, of course, the climate. However, this is where things become interesting. Stoics were adamant that our perception of well-being is not determined by outside factors, circumstances, but by our comprehension and reacting to those incidents. Isn't the situations themselves, but our viewpoint on those situations that makes us feel something. By recalling a point when you encountered an issue, perhaps you failed to get your ideal job, or you lost a class at school at the moment. It may have been disastrous, but as time went on, you might have perceived it as a disguised favor that resulted in bettering oneself or even better chances. So, how can we use this? Wisdom. Start by determining whether this within my power. If the response is affirmative, then take appropriate action. If the response, learn to accept it and make the necessary adjustments. Mentality. Grasping this idea can free us from needless annoyance. Even though we can't control the wind, we can. In a noisy world, we must constantly modify our boats. This control dichotomy serves as a lighthouse that directs us to concentrate on the things that really count while finding serenity in acknowledging the beyond our impact. Lesson 2. Halt prior to Lesson 2. Hold off on reacting. You respond in the fast-paced digital world of today, an environment where prompt reactions are frequently commended for pausing to consider appear to be a dead skill, but the straightforward act of stopping to consider a situation may be an effective instrument in a culture that always calls for fast thinking regarding the numerous choices you make every day, from tiny ones, such as picking something to eat, to celebrate important life events. Options, but it goes beyond size of these choices that are crucial for our way, is to think about a well-known situation. You get a notification that irritates you. Perhaps a co-worker criticizes a comment from a buddy or your work that seems disrespectful. Your first. It may be instinctive to respond with defensiveness or annoyance, but consider if, rather than plunging straight into that emotional storm during which you took you're not holding back your emotions, that you're providing yourself. Instead, time to comprehend their reflections does not imply that you're dodging or accepting what has happened in a passive manner. indicates that you're interacting with your feelings and thoughts. Why? Did I find this bothersome? And am I responding to the present circumstances, or are there historical experiences impacting my emotional state? Is my comment regarding the recent events? Or is it connected to something more profound? You create space by reflecting for a while. Maybe your coworker was sympathetic, experiencing a difficult day, or your pal didn't acknowledge the impact of their comments on this. Having time for introspection can help avoid needless disputes, intensify relationships, and cultivate deeper meaning connections in the workplace. Leaders in surroundings who take the time to reflect are frequently regarded as more considerate and honored their choices, based on serious thought, likely to endure longer in a world where it appears that everything is moving at lightning-fast pace. Pausing to reflection is similar to a silent act of defiance. Selecting in-depth comprehension and consideration over rash decisions. Lesson 3. Accept compassion. Lesson 3. Accept dispassion in a world that frequently seems to be spinning. In feelings, the notion of practicing dispassion may seem odd, yet let's examine its significant influence. Dispassion does not mean ignoring your feelings or turning aloof instead. The goal is to attain a balanced view of a tranquil center in the middle of chaos. Picture what's happening. Circumstances and your personal emotions without feeling overpowered, and recalling the last time you saw a tense movie that felt the thrill of tension and sadness maybe, but you knew it was merely a film in which you participated. Felt intensely, but you stayed in your seat. This encapsulates the spirit of dispassion while living life to the fullest, while being aware of when to step back and simply observe without being engrossed in the drama. In the fast-paced world of today, responding to each and every news item and stimulus can soon result in dispassion and fatigue. Acts as a buffer, enabling us to interact in a more sustainable manner with the globe. It may be crucial in our relationships. Distinction between having constructive discussions and slipping into harmful debates. The act of self-awareness is the first step toward dispassion. Frequently checking in with yourself, knowing what makes you feel a certain way, and establishing a gap between the stimuli and reaction gives you the flexibility to choose your response by letting go of clutching too closely to the results. You can immerse oneself in the experience of life, enjoying every second without the ongoing fear of altering or losing. Accepting dispassion results in an inner serenity that lands us elegantly navigating the highs and lows of life. Question yourself in Lesson 4. Lesson 4. Consider whether the items those are causing you anxiety will matter in 5 years. Every day that we come across times when we must exercise patience and power, whether the issue is small or a major challenge in our lives, which frequently characterized by incidents that elicit strong, in the middle of these circumstances, it's all too simple to enmeshed in our instantaneous responses. A scathing remark or a missing target date sometimes appear to be monumental catastrophes. But there's a compelling query that can change how we see these things. Matter in 5 years. Consider this query. It provides a mental time machine, that new viewpoint that turns a heated conflict or a lost opportunity into anything less intimidating for the majority of the day. The problems we worry about now will pass. From recollection throughout time, consider how many of the worries you had 5 years ago. They still have meaning today. This insight is both illuminating and releasing it allows us to focus on what is important and highlights lasting importance over transient problems by maintaining a broad perspective, keeping in mind that we can develop resilience and reduce our worry, and overanalyzing this question not only aids in reducing immediate concerns, but it also aids us concentrate on life's enduring aspects. Relationships, personal development, and encounters that endure the test of inquiring on a frequent basis, if this will matter in 5 years, enables us to get close to living more peacefully and clearly, making sure our efforts are directed toward what Lesson 5. Keep a Stoic journal to record your thoughts. Lesson 5. Truly matters. Write your observations. In a Stoic journal has traditionally been held in high regard across many historical periods and cultures, not only as a means of record occurrences, but as a potent instrument for introspection, development, and mental. The Stoics' emphasis on clarity, self-knowledge, and personal development used this approach. To be completely honest, a Stoic journal is better more than only a daily activity journal. It provides a place for reflection, for conversing with oneself, and for examining feelings, decisions, and reactions. It symbolizes the point when the outside world and our inner selves, where experiences are evaluated in relation to our individual beliefs and values. Envision bringing your day to a close by thinking about not just about what happened, but also about your responses to a certain statement, annoy you. What caused that instance of happiness during a routine task? By looking at our everyday experiences, we begin to discover our psyche's patterns. We start to identify the triggers that impact our emotions, the principles that influence our choices, and the behaviors that describe our everyday existence. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic thinker, kept a journal that we now refer as this journal's reflections were never meant to be made public. It was a private area where he can direct himself, uphold Stoic values, and deal with overcoming obstacles in life. With insight in his Marcus Aurelius's writings indicate a man battling his feelings and duty and his position in the overall context. But you're not required to be an emperor to gain from keeping a Stoic journal. In the fast-paced world of today, there are, with interruptions and continuous streams of data, setting aside time for self-analysis becomes even more important. Carrying out a daily grounding and check-in. To gain clarity in the midst of the world's chaos over time, this behavior can result in substantial enlightenment. For you may discover that specific circumstances frequently cause stress, which is encouraging you to deal with these problems or change your viewpoint. You may find that behaviors like showing gratitude or being mindful improves your mood and viewpoint. The trends that are emerging can serve as a roadmap for individual progress. Past these revelations, the Stoic journal encourages responsibility by making a commitment to daily reflection. You are accountable to yourself for your reactions and choices. It becomes more difficult to ignore recurrent errors or disregard judgmental faults. Rather, you are urged to learn how to adapt and develop. Eventually, preserving a Stoic journaling is similar to having a knowledgeable, non-judgmental friend who is constantly there to hear, consider, and provide direction. It's a dedication to development, to acquiring a more profound comprehension of oneself, and to leading a harmonious life. Lesson 6. With your principles and ideals. Lesson 6. See challenges as opportunities to grow. Consider challenges as opportunities to grow. There are always difficulties in our world, ranging from individual setbacks to global crises. These challenges are just component of the human experience. But what if, instead of viewing these obstacles as obstacles, we started to see them as potential? That the Stoics were unaware of deep understanding of adversity. They claimed that while we can't always impose the things that happen to us, we can regulate our interpretation and reaction too. This change in perspective changes them. Barriers from simple strikes into Marcus Aurelius's priceless lessons. This viewpoint is nicely captured. His statement, the impediment to action, what is preventing progress in action, turns into how this is meant to be understood. that every difficulty or barrier can push forward if we see it as an opportunity for growth. Picture a river coming across a large rock on its journey. Instead of stopping the river and figuring out how to go around the blockage, either by progressively eroding the stone or creating a new path. The stone that starts out as a barrier turns into a catalyst for transformation that modifies the river's road, just as we face challenges in our own life, can frequently lead us in new directions, resulting in results that we hadn't. For instance, losing one's employment can seem overwhelming at first, but it might provide opportunities for a new professional path and the opportunity to improve your abilities or even encourage you to start your own company. Who is similarly aware of the conclusion of a relationship might pave the way for self-discovery, self-improvement, and the creation of stronger, more profound connections. Adopting this Stoic attitude soon, resilience is fostered by outlook when we begin to view challenges as chances for us to become more adaptable and more capable of facing challenges directly, rather than wondering why we are experiencing this. We start by asking what I can benefit from. How can this experience aid in my personal development? This does not mean that we ought to aggressively look for issues or ignore real struggles, instead of about realizing that every obstacle includes an opportunity seed by fostering this in a positive attitude, perseverance, and patience. We can transform challenges into opportunities that lead us to knowledge and improvement and a satisfying life lesson. Create a lesson. 7. Establish a gratitude habit. The grand mosaic's practice of thankfulness. Among human feelings, thankfulness is evident, as vividly as a piece of interwoven gold. Moments of happiness, joy, and wisdom, even if it can appear in our lives. On their own initiative, the Stoics support the deliberate use of thankfulness, establishing it as a daily routine that binds us to the here and now and lets us recognize the many blessings in life. Gratitude is a profound recognition of the many forces, encounters, and people who improve our existence. It entails observing the lessons of beauty in the everyday entangled in challenges and the transient character of every encounter, increasing their value. One renowned Stoic philosopher is Seneca, accurately expressed this idea. To be happy means to savor the moment. Without fearful reliance on the future, this emphasizes the essence of with thankfulness deeply rooted in the present, relishing every second of experience and every relationship show on the small pleasures we frequently overlook, the sun's soft warmth on a cold day, a reassuring sound of laughter. Having dinner with people we care about, or even the sustenance that comes with bread, by pausing to acknowledge and cherish these encounters, we enhance their importance and beauty. Participating in being thankful acts as a counterpoint to our innate propensity to obsess over what, whether it's unmet desires or something else, we lack, or worries about what might happen when we refocus our focus on what we already have rather than what we're absent. We cultivate a feeling of satisfaction, decrease sentiments of jealousy or resentment, and enhance our general welfare. You may wonder how we might advance. This practice can be as simple as the start or finish your day by taking note of a few items. You are appreciative of the time. This simple habit can change your viewpoint, increasing your receptivity to life's blessings and more capable of overcoming problems. Additionally, thankfulness improves our relationships via recognizing the positive. Will we obtain comfort or affection from others, we fortify our bonds, promote respect for one another, and establish a cycle of warmth and compassion in a culture that frequently demands more wealth, more aspirations, and more achievements. Being thankful is a small reminder of the treasure already contained in our lives. It's a call to embrace life, cherish the present. With arms wide open and to guide us, travel with a heart full of gratitude as the day comes to an end. We are left to consider the timeless knowledge that permeates our "How will you use modern lives?" Fundamental lessons of Stoicism can impact your. We look forward to hearing your viewpoints and experiences. Drop your remarks in the space provided below, and let's continue this investigation of personal development. Going together, and I appreciate you watching. I hope the video was entertaining to you. Until we reunite and remain curious, centered, and keep searching for knowledge. See you soon.